Wife cheated and moved in with a guy she met 3 weeks ago at work. Wife got a job November 14th. Told me she was leaving December 6th. She had absolutely no contact with this crowd before. We kept to each other all the time and had all the same friends from church. They could only talk at work. Not sure how, but apparently they're very in love with each other. I have screenshots. Lots of I love you more than anything texts. Lots of nudes as well. She's moved out, had time, started doing drugs with him, and I've filed for divorce since. I caught her getting dropped off by this guy one night after I was suspicious of the way she had been acting and asked to have the phone I pay for back since she just plain wouldn't reply to anyone for days. She gave it to me and unlocked it. I saw all her coworkers were helping her cheat on me by taking shifts for her so she could go to his house. We're young, but I'm not dumb. However, nobody saw this coming. Out of the 40 people we know and know us intimately, nobody expected this. Even our couples counselor was in shock with it all. Our last conversation ended with her bringing up and laughing about childhood sexual traumas I had been through. We dated for 2.5 years. Had been married for 4 months when she first slept with him. She has made it a point to call me daily or every other day with ridiculous questions like, do I have any dresses at your place still? And even did so Christmas morning. Not to mention she's been stalking my social media accounts. WTF kind of sense does this make? Will it last? Why is she being so extremely hurtful? I truly don't deserve it. Especially the belittling of my traumas without any remorse or consideration. I mean, why? Update. She's been to the ER twice in the past week for various pains and injuries. Docs gave her the good stuff on 4 and prescribed her meds they couldn't say. She's using my insurance. Story 2, she F30 broke it off, but made me think it was my idea? M28. Greetings, Reddit. I'm new here. We had been dating for 6 years and had just returned from a week-long trip to Europe. I'm not sure if this is generally relatable because she has NPD. I believe this energy must have rubbed off on her because we have experienced a lot together, and recently, I will admit, I have been doubting and constantly asking, not healthy, right? We had a wonderful time away, and since work has been busy, we really value the time we get to spend together. This is where it occurred, and we just got home yesterday. She has repeatedly ignored me. They call this breaking up, but she has then come back. I'm aware that this is also unhealthy. However, I tend to be very optimistic, and we were having fun while I believed we were making progress. Evidently, no. I'm so perplexed right now. Please be patient with me as it is my first and only relationship. It's very hard to put into words, but she was basically saying that she felt bad for seeing me. After we returned from our vacation, I mentioned that I felt a little lousy, which led to the conclusion that she felt bad. In our kitchen, it quickly spiraled out of control within an hour. She hasn't considered my needs or wants, and I didn't say any of this. Instead, she said, I feel bad for being with you on vacation. Then, I don't know what I want, before saying, we need to break up because it's good for you, and finally, don't talk me out of it because it's my choice. Trying to figure out how she arrived at this conclusion is so bizarre. She is now sleeping downstairs and won't even look at me. She advised us to consider parting ways because otherwise it would have dragged on and we would have had to stop. I just don't understand how she was able to change her mind so quickly and trick me into believing it was my idea. Despite being severely hurt, I have no idea what to do. Has anyone else encountered this? If so, please share your experience and how you handled it. Update, she is treating the new supply like a king. I feel absolutely terrible. Looking for support. Hello, the narc recently dumped me on October 20th after we went on a brief vacation together. It was very abrupt, and a week later she had begun dating another man. She said that she needed a break from relationships because of a lot of external stress, and I felt as though I had been taken by surprise. She didn't know I knew about the new guy, so I foolishly kept messaging her and getting replies. Last week, I finally snapped and told her I knew, and she exploded at me. I can't recall my thoughts at the time. Considering that she hasn't blocked me or done anything similar, it seems to me that she is disappointed that I learned about her boyfriend because she would have preferred to keep me on the side for the next time. Since the new guy is the exact opposite of what she said she liked, I am really struggling. For instance, he is a fit, blonde-haired influencer for a fitness company. On the other hand, I fit into her type of regular guy with a regular job who wasn't overly concerned with going to the gym, etc. It appears that she lied to me about everything and that she only liked certain things about me. She is also openly flaunting him. Even though she has known him for less than a month, she claimed to have told him to block me because I was acting crazy and that she is genuinely happy with him. They are going on vacation for Thanksgiving together, and she has taken him to expensive dinners and shared photos of it on Facebook. After she left me in shock a little less than a month ago, I can't believe how quickly things have changed. I guess I'm just coming to terms with the fact that I've been used and that she never meant anything but to hurt me further. I am still wholly broken and she spoke to me like complete crap. I just really struggle with her moving in so quickly because we've been back together so many times. I'm really looking for some advice here because I am at home making myself sick while she is on dates. Is it normal for them to move on so fast and declare their happiness so quickly? Update: the cheater moved on to a cheater. I feel relieved. I'm so ecstatic at the thought that anything could go wrong. X was very narcissistic in nature. She betrayed me several times. I know I shouldn't care, but hearing her brag to me as I dropped the kids off about how he is married and 20 years older just reinforced my conviction that I'm so much better than settling for her. Despite having broken it off with his wife, they still need to meet at a hotel at 11 p.m., and she must leave early in the morning. They share the same department at work. There are red flags flying everywhere. This past weekend when I dropped the kids off, she started the reminiscing BS with me. I appreciated the fact that she was still thinking of me. I just shut the door, feeling so proud of myself because a few months earlier, I would have fallen for it. I can't wait for her to see how this turns out. Although I'm dating different people and trying to move on, my current priority is my children. If anyone else is in the same situation, I just thought I'd post this here. They'll never be contented with life. We can do this if we stay calm and keep going. Please excuse my terrible spelling. Story 3. Today I filed for divorce. It's 2 years too late, but I still feel horrible. I am M29 and wife soon to be X is W34. We have been married for approximately 4.5 years at this point. I learned 2 years ago that she was having what she claimed to be an emotional affair with her boss at the time. This, of course, turned out to be only half the truth. At the time, it shook me completely to my core because, up until that point, I had full faith in our relationship. I thought it was robust, exceptional, and unbreakable. It took me some time, but after hearing her apologize and beg for my forgiveness, I reluctantly made the decision to try and put the betrayal and my feelings behind me because I thought two things. 1, she was sincere, and 2, we had too much invested in the relationship to just call it quits. Yes, sunken cost fallacy. When I learned that they were still in touch a few months later, I am given the same account. Although there were things I could have done better, I always acted faithfully and morally even when given the chance to behave otherwise. I'm not saying I was the perfect partner. Simply put, I would never cross this line in the sand. I should never ignore my intuition again. I've learned from this experience. I never felt at ease when she was using her phone or out of the house during the time we were trying to save our marriage, especially during our less frequent communication or when she was drinking. She admits that her excessive drinking is a real substance abuse issue, which undoubtedly made our issues worse. I asked her to vacate the property today and filed for divorce. There just doesn't seem to be a scenario where I could ever trust her again. I don't know how I was able to continue the affair after seeing how devastated I was the first time. It's more than just selfish, it's narcissistic and evil. I would really like to have kids, but making a decision like that involves other people who might not want to be involved, the kids, and if you're going to take on that kind of responsibility, you should at the very least feel completely confident in your partner. Because of what has happened, I didn't, and will never do it. This made my choice simple. Of course, logic and emotion appear to use different brain regions. I still feel horrible. Future-related worries are on my mind. Will I eventually find the right partner? Have I made a mistake? Will I miss her? In many ways, I already do. Will the routine tasks still feel meaningful and fulfilling? Having said that, I am still adamant about my choice. I'm hoping that some of you out there who have experienced something similar can share pearls of wisdom with me so I can learn through experience. Redditor's reactions update after. Redditor 1, you made the correct decision. Your STBXW made a choice to continue her affair instead of focusing on her marriage. No words can ever restore the trust she has destroyed. Leave her in the street and find a life partner that will help you build a relationship together. Answer, this 100%. There are parts of me that just wants to forget it all and go back to the way it was. It's a fairy tale and complete fiction, therefore not an option. I want to process my emotions, get myself right, and then hopefully be the partner I know I can be and was to someone out there. Redditor 2, you're doing the right thing, just don't waver from your plan. Count your blessings that you don't have kids with this closeted monster, and know that positives will also come out of this train wreck. I speak from experience. Good luck, bro. Op answer, my dad said, your uncle's biggest regret was having children with his ex-wife, even knowing that his relationship wasn't working and that he didn't want it. It just hit me hard and I knew there was no other option. Redditor 3, you already wasted the last 2 years. Don't waste more. Update 8 days from the day I 29M asked my cheating wife 34 watts to leave. I wanted to come back and create a new post to explain my current mental state, which is actually better than it has been in years despite the emotional upheaval. I always have had a plan for the future because that is the kind of person I am. I was clear about the kind of job, the kind of home I wanted, the makeup of my family, and the kind of wife I desired. During this past week of intense reflection, I came to the realization that I unconsciously ignored what I didn't want to see in my STBXW and saw only what I wanted to see. No matter how hard I tried, I was unable to make the said STBXW into the kind of woman I had imagined for myself. I unintentionally disregarded the warning signs, made accommodations, and ultimately gave up on who I was and what I wanted to be. Due to this spiritual misalignment, which I wasn't consciously aware of, I ended up feeling less than myself. I've come to the realization that I'm to blame, but not in a demeaning way, but rather in a way that will help me learn. I'm to blame for not understanding my value, for failing to recognize when enough was enough and for me, once is enough, and for compromising my beliefs and values. Do not misunderstand me, I believe the STBXW made abhorrent, dishonest, and hurtful decisions. However, that is her issue. Whatever she may try to convince me of, I did not influence her choices. She is the one who is broken, and it is not my fault. In order to improve myself and live the life I want, I have restarted some of the following and given them priority in my life. 1. I work out 4 or 5 times a week, and during these sessions I have much more energy. 2. I'm keeping track of my macros and trying to eat mostly whole foods. I wasn't really fat to begin with, but I've lost over 6 pounds this week. 3. If I start drinking coffee again, my personality will have improved tenfold. My STXW didn't, and she blamed any anxiety I experienced on it. Lol. 4. I am putting a lot of effort into my career. I hold a leadership position and feel much more accessible to my entire team. 5. I've decided to resume my side businesses for fun and increased mental stimulation. How I allowed myself to end up in this situation still baffles me quite a bit. These are things I will continue to work on. But one thing I am doing right now is letting go of any expectation or idea of control I have over another human being. It appears that I can either accept them as they are or not at all. The Telltale Signs of a Cheater Narcissist is another of the best posts I've read this week on this forum. These individuals have a effed up playbook hardwired into their brains that explains how to shift blame, gaslight, change history, and outright lie. By removing my emotions from the circumstance, I was able to see her for what she truly was, a self-centered, cunning narcissist. She recently said, "Our marriage broke down far before I stepped out of it," which is the best example I can use to make my point. 2 years ago, I might have agreed with her and felt somewhat to blame for what transpired. Today, I reply, I didn't make you cheat. Every disagreement we had in our marriage before you cheated was amenable to resolution. You made that choice and were aware of the potential repercussions. You didn't just do it, you also continuously told lies about doing it. Don't give me that SHT, please. It's really absurd to hold that opinion. I'm hoping that writing this will help some of you who are sharing experiences that are similar to mine, possibly just much earlier in the discovery phase. The answer to what to do next will become crystal clear once you liberate yourself from your emotions and ego. Story 4, How to Pull Another Out of Affair Fog. We are both military personnel. I am 29 years old and she is 26, and we dated for 5 years before getting married for 2, making a total of almost 8 years. My wife took a 5-week business trip in November of last year, and ever since then, there have been hints, distant, always on her phone, etc. On March 4th, the big day, she admitted to having feelings for another woman. She didn't say anything else. I was astounded and shocked. The following morning, I moved into our spare bedroom, and we split our bank accounts 50-50. The AP spouse sent me messages that same weekend proving that they had an intimate relationship on the final night of the business trip. I learned about it last. I broke the news to the wife, who reacted angrily. The following week, she met with her mother, with whom she has a close relationship, and gave her the same account of what happened as she had given to me. I then contacted her mother and informed her of the whole situation. Her mother concurs with me even though they are currently not speaking. My wife is aware that I want to work things out. I hired a counselor, gave her my undivided attention, and worked on myself. Since D-Day, she has been calling her AP every night for over an hour. When I confront her about the relationship, she claims she is unsure of her priorities and refuses to seek counseling. She only confides in friends who are supportive of her actions. Apart from discussing the affair, we get along well. Together, we cleaned up the yard and watched movies, etc. She needs a dopamine fix around 8 or 9 o'clock though. The AP is a service member who is 10 years my wife's senior, overweight, and going through a divorce with their spouse. They also have a newborn child. Anyone I confide in thinks the entire situation is absurd. I wish I had the answers to get her out of the fog and back to reality, but I don't. Although I want to keep this marriage together, I am starting to lose hope and consider filing for divorce. As a side note, I have overcome my depression and am no longer as depressed as I once was. I also no longer allow her to treat me disrespectfully. I would value any advice. Redditor's reactions update after. Redditor 1, unless she goes no contact with AP there is no chance in reconciliation. Go Grey Rock 180 and give her the option it's me or AP you pick and let me know. If you don't cut her out I take that as you picking her. If that's the case have her move out and start IC for yourself. Redditor follow up, honestly, your partner needs a hard ultimatum to shake the tree she's hiding in. Personally, this whole I don't know what I want is just BS, and is used by a cheater to try and fend off repercussions for their actions because they are confused. She's biding time, on her own timeline, and you're just allowing her to. Are you going to wait until she's no longer confused, which I will guess coincides with her AP divorcing and finally being free for them to be together, and then have her reveal to you that she's out? You need to be proactive and decisive here. Do not give her any control of the situation. Redditor 2, get rid of her. Please. My wife seems to have a lot of similarities to yours. It's not worth the pain you are about to go through. My wife had a long affair. After I found out, she tried to justify things by saying she never really felt married to me and that if she just pretended it didn't happen, she could convince herself it wasn't real. I ended her affair. No violence or threats of any sort were used and now I'm facing felony prosecution. I lost my job, I am probably going to lose my professional license, and there's a chance I'm going to be incarcerated. All this because I cared and wanted to stop her affair. I have been seriously contemplating suicide for months now and it's not getting any better. Don't allow yourself to be her victim. She doesn't give a duck about how you feel, or how much pain this is causing you. Get out before your life is destroyed. She is a narcissist and if you are hurt by this, she will get pleasure from it. Redditor follow up, sorry you are going through this. See a therapist for your suicidal thoughts, please. I really need to take my own advice here. I know what it feels like to want to destroy the people who destroy you, and I don't know what you did to get yourself to where you are right now. No judgment from me, but it's only hurting you. Seems like you are suffering consequences, and the offenders are living life. Start living life for yourself. Someday you may enjoy it again. I hope the same for myself, but I have a long way to go in therapy before I can get there. Update, WW and divorce, a revision to my initial post. The wife still talks to her AP every night, and occasionally during the workday. The AP and Texas National Guard was the target of my Uniform Code of Military Justice USMJ action. They have so far followed through. AP was advised of the action being taken against her and is currently the subject of an investigation. They intend to punish her shortly. I have not yet requested UCMJ action against her in my own state because I think it will enrage the WW. My wife informed me over the weekend that she is leaving for the weekend out of concern for her safety. Phone logs indicate that they stopped talking to one another for the first time in 4 months, so I believe my WW traveled to TX to be with AP. I informed her father of what she had done while she was away, and her mother has since joined me in NC and is beginning to spend more time with WW. She was served on Tuesday after I hired a competent attorney and filed my paperwork. Today I discovered that she had hired a lawyer who, incidentally, was suspended for spending time with his clients but has since been reinstated and countered. I've yet to see the counter. Concerned about what I'll see, I'm anxious. In addition to personal belongings, I asked her to post out the home's equity and keep it. along with the profit I made from the house I had previously purchased while still a single man but immediately sold after getting married. Since I built this life, I'm concerned overall. If anyone is wondering why I haven't pursued UCMJ action, it's because it is a card in my deck against her. We haven't spoken since her brief trip, but we have continued to live in the same house. Do I need to act immediately or wait? I'm trying to act appropriately. She did something that still defies belief, and I just want it to be over. Redditors' reactions. Redditor 1, why I haven't pressed UCMJ action is due to it being a card in my deck against her. Should I sooner than later or not at all? Discuss it with your lawyer, that's why you're paying the big bucks. Redditor 2, it would be better for you to press UCMJ early, otherwise they will view you in a negative light. Be on about it and live your life. Op answer, out of curiosity, why would it make me look bad? Because the dust is settled at that point? Redditor 3, your wife told you she feared for her safety. You should expect false allegations of abuse, violence, rape to be made against you. Will be a game changer in her favor. Press UCMJ while you have the opportunity.